Good evening, fret friends. We are entering the 15th hour since I woke this morning. I went and worked for Raw Mail, as I do 5 days, sometimes 6 days a week. Then I come back, I have a cup of tea, and I start work in the workshop. And it's been a long day today, but I just wanted to get the start of this video done. So I have a new project on the bench now. This guitar I have here is not a stranger to me. I did actually see it briefly last year. And I know the owner pretty well. I've been doing his guitars for about 4 years, Mr. Paul Ryan. And he bought this guitar to me last year, and we had a little bit of a problem with it. We couldn't do anything with a truss rod, it wouldn't move. But we managed to get it, without altering the truss rod, we got it playable. And I says, look, what we'll do is, before we decide what we're going to do with a truss rod, next time you bring it in, next time it needs a setup, or if it's giving any problems, and this is a year later now, next time I bring it in, we'll have a look at that truss rod and see what we can do. And I was saying we might need to replace the neck, we might have to get the fingerboard off, whatever, we don't know. But anyway, lo and behold, he's brought it in today. It does need a setup. I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. But I've had a go at the truss rod, and the truss rod is absolutely fine. He says he's not touched it, he's not put anything on it. And I think just playing the guitar and whatever, it's just, maybe it's worked it loose, I don't know. But the truss rod works fine. It is a wheel nut type of truss rod affair at the body end. But let me show you the guitar, and it is a 7-string, and I don't even know what model it is myself, but it's a 7-string Jackson with a Floyd Rose, model number on the back, MXJ. That's it, it's just an MXJ. I don't know what it means. It's got Jackson tuners on there, crafted with quality in Mexico, of all places. Very interesting. I didn't know we did Mexican Jacksons. So there you go, lovely looking guitar. Master volume, master tone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way switch. I would imagine then, 1 will be humbucker, 2 will be split humbucker, 3 will be split humbucker. Start again. 1 will be bridge, 2 will be split, 3 will be bridge and neck, could possibly be split, 4 will be split neck, and 5 will be neck full. I'd imagine there'd be something along those lines. I don't see why it'd be any different way. I will have to test that later. Master volume, master tone, no splits on push pull or anything. 7-string. Paul has told me he tunes it down to A. So we are going to give us a setup. It does say, however, it is buzzing when he plays up the higher end. So it's possible we're going to need to level some frets. Again, I don't know, but I am really pleased that this truss rod adjuster is now working. So I'm going to stretch the strings, get it in tune tomorrow when I look at it. I've had a little play on it today. I'm not a fan of 7 strings. I'm not really a 7-string player, so not really my cup of tea, but I'll just make sure the intonation's pretty much bang on. The tremolo is level, so that looks all alright. What we need to do is we need to get this neck off, and we need to check these frets. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I just wanted to introduce and show the guitar. I will go and do a little bit of research, find out what it is. MXJ, then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So MXJ1 and 6 other numbers on there. Beautiful looking thing. It is a metallic, it's not even black. It's more like a gunmetal than a black. It is metallic. It's got a great weight to it. I love heavy guitars. Beautiful weight. Tremolo. It is an actual Floyd Rose. That's it. It's an original Floyd Rose made for a 7-string. The pickups are Seymour Duncans. They are body mounted, and a 3-screw neck clamping system there, which again is a surprise. I would like to see them as big thick bolts with inserts, but I don't know yet, so I'll go and have a look. So that is the guitar. Let me go and do some research, find out what it is. I will come back, probably not tomorrow, probably I've got another project on the go which I'll finish tomorrow, so maybe I'll get this one done. What are we tomorrow, Thursday? Maybe I'll look at this again on Friday. I won't imagine there's anything untoward with this. Maybe we need to level some frets, I don't know, but I will come back and I will let you know. So come back and we'll have some fun with this one. It came as no surprise to the owner of this guitar, Mr. Paul Ryan, that it needs a complete fret level, and it does, and we have 18 high spots over 10 frets. He did say to me, he says it's just buzzing everywhere, and it is absolutely no surprise. Like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 frets with 18 high spots. Just going to check the neck, make sure we are dead straight, and I know we are because I straightened the neck last night. And I went over with a fret rocker and I marked all of the frets where they are high. Sure you can hear that. Get down to this one. So high. So we have high frets down the whole length of the board. I can show you which one of the high frets. You may be able to see the marker pen on there. But just to recap, I'll show you where we are if I can. That area and that area on that fret, that area there. I'll do the high spots. So 2 areas, 1, 2, 3. You see, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we've got 17 high spots over 10 frets. The only way to remedy this is to level all of the frets. So we're going to remove the locking nut. I don't know why, I'm not a massive fan of the top normal ones, but certainly I think they do make the neck sturdier rather than drilling 2 big bolt holes all the way through the back. Maybe it's just because I had most of mine through the back. So I've got to remove this locking nut. Wow, these are some thick screws. I'm also going to remove the neck to do the work. Don't want to be working around those big Seymour Duncan pickups, getting any filings or sand or anything in there. So with the neck straight as it is, I need to get it taped up. I'm going to just do a straight fret level using a leveling beam. Just following the radius, level the lot all in one go. Once that's done, we're going to recrown and polish them. Pretty straightforward job, quite a long-winded job. It's not a 5-minute affair, leveling frets. So it's going to take me a few hours. Relatively, it's not an expensive job. It's with the setup, with the Floyd Rose setup on this, it's going to cost him around about 130 quid. So it's not expensive and worth doing. He did say it's never had the frets touched since new, so he'll be glad to get it all done, and it'll last him a good few years. A very, very good guitar. So once I've got everything set up ready to level, I will come back and show you how we get on. I know the light is not great, but that's just something we have to put up with at this time of the year. So let's explain how we're going to level these frets. We have the neck dead straight, we have the fingerboard all taped up, just the frets exposed. We have the neck bolted to a piece of MDF, which acts as a body substitute. That's so we don't get any filings or anything into the pickups. And we're using my diamond file, precision straight edge diamond file from Chris Allsop on eBay UK. Fantastic leveling file this. It is precision level. And all the high spots where I've marked with a pen, I'm going to remove the main, listen, you can even hear her up there. I'm going to remove the main amount of material with this. Once that's done, we're going to pen across all of the frets again, and we're going to go across with a precision straight edge with sandpaper on there, 240 grit one side, 320 grit on the other. This will be used for the whole length of the neck. So I'm not going to be subtle removing the height of the frets we need. We are going to go straight across, and once I stop getting resistance, I know I'm just about where I need to be. You know how this works by experience, and you know more or less when you've got where you need to be. It's feeling pretty good. Pressing down not too heavily, quite light strokes. I can already see I've removed a lot of material from these 2 frets and this one. Hardly pressing down at all now, nice light strokes. And what we do now and again is we do like to check the frets. I need to find my brush. something as simple as this is a clothes brush. I bought it years ago just for this job, just brushing off all of the filings, and we're just going to check the frets as we go down the neck. They feel pretty good. So I've got a good level going on already. Just a bit high on that one. Just check this one. A little bit of height there. And the idea is to get them all just about level. We'll do the precision leveling with the leveling beam in a little while. So following all the areas I've marked off in pen. Just keep checking as we go down the neck. Very good file this. It does not mess about. It removes a lot of material in a short space of time. That's why I bought it. It does exactly what I want it to do. It wasn't expensive either. I think it cost me £25. Something like that, something in that region. These, I'm just going to go across the whole lot. Press quite lightly to find the radius itself. And that seems to be pretty much it. And we'll know for sure once we go across with a leveling beam. Leveling frets is a really, really simple job. The craftsmanship comes in when you're recrowning them and polishing them. That one's still high there. I'm going to work on these basically individually right now. There's some quite high ones this end. Okay, got a high spot there. Keep checking back. Go back one. And we'll know if they're level or not when we come across with the leveling beam and we do them all in one go. Because, in fact I'll show you when I get there. There's no point explaining. I'll explain it as I'm doing it. So once I'm quite satisfied that we'll remove the excess material I want to remove to get them very close to where they need to be, which we are at that stage, we are going to just give the frets a wipe. We'll take a pen. I bought a set of 7 of these, all different colours, and I use one at a time. I'll use pink now, I'll probably use purple another day, then a blue, black or whatever, because that way they all tend to run out at the same time and I can buy another pack of 7. So that kind of works. So what we're doing now is we're going to pen all of the frets. We're going to go across with a leveling beam. Leveling beam in this case, it is a piece of box section aluminium, 2 edges precision milled perfectly flat, or as perfectly flat as you can get them. I'm made out in Greece at GMI. A guy called Harris. I've seen him make his tools. I trust his judgment. He makes fantastic tools. I've been buying his tools for about 6-7 years now. They're as straight as anything you can get, and they're not expensive. So check out GMI. only on eBay. I've got this, I've got straight edges and all sorts. GMI, anyway, that's who they are. So, levelling beam, perfectly level down that side and that side. We have some 240 grit on there, some 320 grit on there. And what we're looking to do is remove all the pen in just a few, not too many strokes. And if we remove all of the pen in a few strokes, we know the frets are level. If there's any left, it means we've got a high fret somewhere. So we're just going to go across, have a look, up and down, just a few strokes. And that was quite promising because I believe, okay, a little bit more work than I wanted it to be, but it's looking pretty good. A couple of high spots just here, it means we may have a high fret down here. Keep going until we get rid of all the pen. Pressing down quite lightly. That looks pretty good to me. A little high spot just here, so I'm just going to check the frets around there. May have a high one. That's the high one there. Thought so. I'm going to pen them again. We're going to go across with the 320 grit this time, a lighter grit. To flatten some of these scratches we put in the frets. And I'm thinking now we should remove all of the pen in just a few strokes, and if we do, frets are level. It's important that we get the frets properly level with no pen anywhere. Seven string for this guitar, 24 frets, so a little bit more work on these. Maybe I ought to charge a little bit more. You've got 3 extra frets over a strat, or 2 extra frets over a strat, and you've got an extra string width. Just something to consider. Oh, there you go. So we're now going to go across with the 320 grit, which is going to help remove some of the deeper scratches left by the 240 grit. And that's all of the pen removed. All of the pen is gone. That means we have the frets level down the whole length of the length of the whole neck. Just going to brush that off, and we're going to check with the fret rocker. Quick check. So far so good. I'm going to crack on, get these frets crowned in a minute. I'll explain what that is. I'm not going to show it on the camera because I have quite a few guitars in. I want to get as many done before Christmas as I can. I will not be working in December because I work for Royal Mail, and we will be doing a lot of overtime all through December. I will not have time to work on guitars, so I'm going to close the shop at the end of November and we'll open again in January. Still going to be running it on a part-time basis, working it around my job at Royal Mail. So you'll have to, if you wanted to work doing, you've got to join the queue. There are 15 people in the queue at the moment. It's going to be added to. If I have to carry you through to January, that is the way it is going to be. But anyway, just going to explain how we crown files. I'm going to take a darker pen than this. I will go with this blue one. And what we're going to do is, because we've levelled the frets, the tops are now flat. And we need to rebuild that crown. And I'm going to explain with my hands in a second just to show you exactly what I mean. And I'm going to leave the camera right there, so apologies. But if you want to see our crown frets, skip back a video or two, you'll see there. So the frets going this way, we've levelled them, so the frets on the top are now flat, and we need to rebuild that crown going this way. Imagine a D on its side, a D shape, a capital D, and that's it. So where we're flat, need to rebuild that crown up, and I'm going to do it using my Stumac crowning file. It's called a Z file. I've got 2 files to do these with. They are both diamond files, so they're not a file in the regular sense that they have a cutting blade. They actually have diamond grit inside, and this one is a double cutter. You probably can't see it, but the closest to you is a short cut, furthest away is a long cut. You flip it 180 degrees, then closest to you is a long cut, and closest to me is a short cut. And as we go over, it's a diamond file, so it's diamond grit. It's about a 300 grit file. As I go over here, it will cut the edges and it'll start to rebuild that crown. Especially when I flipped it over, done both sides, but it will not touch the top of the fret. So it'll leave a line down the centre of about 0.4 millimetres wide, which is what we're looking for. And that's going to be a contact point between the top of the fret and the string, and it's not going to be so wide, so it's not going to give us any buzz. And to finish off the fret, because when we're building up, it's going to be quite angular using this file, so we need to round it off, and I have again a diamond file, which is a gift to me from Nigel Roberts, LeicesterShireLuthier.co.uk, now retired, a great luthier, good friend, and he gifted me this a few years ago, and it's fantastic. It cuts that crown, but I'll do the main cutting on this and I'll do the reshaping on this one. So just to show, and though you can't see much anyway, it's just a few strokes across the top, like so, turn it over 180 degrees, a few strokes across the top again. It's left a nice thin blue line down the centre, so we know we've not dropped any height, so we know that fret is level with all the others. And we'll finish off with this file just to remove any inconsistencies. And there you go, that is that one done. That's how easy that is. We always wipe the file and clean it after one fret. This one again, both sides, and we move on to the next one. And it really is very simple with these tools. Flip it 180 degrees. Nice thin blue line down the centre. Again, just round it off with this file. And that is those two done. And to prove we've not lost any height, we take the fret rocker, and there's no rock. And that's it. We've maintained the height because the blue line's still there. That's 2 crowned. So from having a flat top, we've now recrowned them. I'm going to crack on, get the rest of them done. Once that's done, we're going to move on to the polishing. Polishing is something I'm going to do another day. So I'm going to crack on, get these crowned tonight, and I'm going to move on to something else. I'll bring you back in when we move on to the polishing process. Moving on with this Jackson, what we need to do now, the frets are all levelled and recrowned. We're going to polish them. And to polish them, we're going to use 7 different grits of sandpaper. And I'm going to start off with some 400 grit, just to remove the deep scratches that are going this way. Quite easy to remove them using some 400 grit, because this is quite a coarse paper, this. Then we're going to go through with 6 more grits, being 600, 800, 1200, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000 grit. The most coarse 600 and the most fine 2000 grit at the back there. It's going to take me a while. We've got 24 times 7 lots of sandpaper. 724 is what we're looking at there. 168, 168 polishes, and another 24 with some finest grade steel wool to finish polishing. So we've got 8 polishers of 24. I believe that gives us 192 different polishers or individual polishers. It's going to take me a while. It's a wider neck than normal because it's a 7-string affair. It's also a 24 fret. I should charge more for these. I should charge about an extra 15 quid. But anyway, I'm going to show you how we go on. Take the paper. Just going to go across the top. To remove those deep scratches coming this way, and it will remove them. We're going to polish them just this way, and it's just a matter of going over the top with the more coarse paper. When we get to the finer papers later, we'll come in to the far side, then we'll come over to the near side and we'll polish the whole fret. But just while we're getting these deep scratches off with the coarse paper, we'll just go one way. So that's going to take me a while to get all this done. Like I say, I'm going to be using 7 grits of sandpaper. Then I'm going to be using the finest grade superfine extra fine steel wool, which for the aficionados is grade 0000. It is going to take me a while, so I'm going to crack on and do this. If it gets too dark in here, I'll move over to the other bench and I'll put the spotlight on and we'll do it that way. But like I said, it's going to take me a while, so I'm going to crack on, get it all done. Once it's done, I'll bring you back in and we'll get this tape peeled off and I'll show you what a fabulous job we have done on these frets. Hey guys, so you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff from this angle for the next few months, because this is my night bench. And it's my night bench because it has a big LED light somewhere up there, and it gives me enough light to work properly. So moving on with this Jackson and polishing my frets. Really easy. We'll just go up the side, just on the side of the bevels there, just to take any grime off, any old grime. And it's really simple. We've done these 7 different grits of sandpaper, 400 grit through to 2000 grit. So the grits being 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000. Going with a finer grit each time. Now I've just gone up these bevels. We'd find now we've just scratched a little bit of these frets, but that doesn't matter. The steel wool I'm using is extra fine, basically grit as, oh, it's not a grit, but it's if you want to see it marked up in the shop, it'll be marked up as either extra fine, super fine or grade 0000. And I always use this to finish off, and it's really simple. It's just straight over the top and into each edge or corner. They're not corners as such, but you see what I mean. And just press it in, far side pressing in, near side pressing in, then back again over the top. And this brings them up to a beautiful glass light shine, and the glass light surface is scratch free. They look fantastic. It doesn't take too long to do it with a steel wool. I say you can't always use steel wool. I do, because I cover the pickups up with tape, but a lot of people frown on it. I don't know why they frown on it. It's great stuff. It really brings them up to a beautiful shine. So it's going to take me a while to do these. So I'm going to crack on, get them done. Once they're done, I'm going to peel off the tape. And I can show you what these look like. They look fantastic. Just peeling off the tape, it's always very satisfying to get to this stage. And just look at that, looks stunning. So I'm just going to do a little bit of clean up. We'll wipe the fingerboard down and be ready to put back together and get back on the guitar. Welcome back, friends. Right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the tremolo, and that can sometimes be a pain in the butt because maybe you can't get anything to hold the tremolo level to the body, and this is one of those cases where it's a little bit difficult. I do have some business cards underneath and I've got it level now, and it's just a matter of getting the strings on. I've got nothing blocking these 3 strings here, so we're going to get the strings on here. We're going to move the business cards, we're going to get the strings on that side, and we're going to bring it up to more or less tension, and that should bring the tremolo more or less where it needs to be. Now, what I'm then going to want to do is I'm going to need to block it from the back and tighten the springs up, so this tremolo doesn't move at all with the string. No matter what we do with the strings, it doesn't matter, it will not move. And we're going to set it all to pitch that way. Now, sometimes it's quite easy, you can get some business cards under there to give you access to the string clamps. In this case, it will not, so we're going to have to do it in 2 parts, or I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts. So we've got some strings here, I believe. Is it 7 custom singles? Got a 140 set there, I don't even know what they are. Custom single, is that a 70? Anyway, Paul says stick these on, so that's what I'm going to do. Have a look, see what they are. I do have a tremolo level at the moment, but sometimes they're just easier to set up once it's under string tension, because we already know that the tremolo was set up correctly for the string gauge. So if we get all the strings on, bring it up to pitch, we should more or less be where we want to be, and we haven't got to fiddle about with extra clamps at the back. Now, what I like to do is, the reason this is a bit of a ball ache is it's a reverse headstock as well. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to nip off the end of the string. Wow, this is a fat one. Just make sure it goes through the tuner. It should go through the tuner. Yeah, it does, that's good. So let's just nip off. It does have a little bend in it, that string anyway, so I'll nip off a little bit more than I need to. Let's just see if we've got enough. Yeah, we've got plenty there. I do like to use, some people put the ball ends on this end and we lock against the ball end. I don't actually like to do that, so I'm not going to do that. And you need to make sure that the string goes right into the bottom of the saddle, all the way in. And that should give you a good 8mm. I'm just going to nip back slightly. And what else we need to do is we need to make sure that the fine tuners, that's it, it's right at the bottom of the saddle there. So we're going to just get this one tightened up first. Don't want to go mental, you don't have to over tighten. Not necessary. Give a good, there you go, bend over. Now one other thing we need to do is make sure these are central. So we'll get one all the way down, one all the way up, and we set all the others in between, so they're right in the middle, like so. And that is just about the middle there, so that's pretty good. So we can always tune in either direction. You will find some of the license Floyds have more adjustment, like the Goto for instance has a huge amount of adjustment. Certainly more than on a Floyd Rose. I'm going to show you a Goto in a minute. I love the Goto Floyd Rose, it's my favourite version. This is a Goto Floyd Rose, and these are fine tuners, and you get an absolutely massive amount of adjustment. Look at that. The amount of adjustment you've got there. That is an absolute stupid amount. That one to that one. Look, these are in the middle, but look at the amount of adjustment you've got on these. That is phenomenal. You could easily go into drop D from an E on this. I love the Goto Floyd Rose. This is off one of my guitars, off my Super Strat that I'm part building. Well, I'm building. So anyway, let's see where we are with this. I do believe we go that way with these. Get it somewhere close. Need this to be an A. Definitely want more of a wind around there, so I'm going to actually pull this one out. And I'm going to bring the string round one loop or one turn. Definitely like to go a bit more of that there. Annoying down-tuned, not down-tuned guitar, it's a 7-string, so it's going to be annoying anyway, but there you go. And that's going to give us a wrap or two around the post. I'm a big fan of wraps around posts, me. So I would like to see at least one full wrap around the tuning peg. Like so. Don't worry about it rattling. Got to stretch them in there. And that's set the ball rolling. We know where we're going to be now. So I'm going to get the strings on, bring it up to close to pitch. There'll be a lot of stretching involved. String stretching. Just pinged off the not there. I'm going to crack on, get the strings on, get it close to pitch, and I'll bring you back in, and it makes it a lot easier for me to show you how we're going to set the tremolo. I'm hoping you can see from where you are. Now you saw I had the business cards at this end, basically under this 5 set of adjusters. I put these 2 strings on, and I'm looking to move this again just so I can get access to these 5 saddle screws. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the business cards and we're going to just drop them under the tremolo, just under these 2. And now we have access to all 5 of the saddle lock adjuster screws, and that way we can, you know, now work quite freely. Get these in. I know it's a little bit of a, can be a bit of a pain getting all this set up, but it's worth the effort of doing it. Well, you've got to do it right. If you don't do it right, it's going to cause problems. You must make sure that the string goes all the way down to the base of the saddle. Otherwise, your chances are it's going to ping out. And again, you see I've got 2 strings on, so I've put the locking nut on there. It's not tight, but it is on there. And we're just going to make things a little easier. I do like to go from the back and tune in the locking tremolo. So we're going to go a bit from the back. It'll find its own kind of level, bend round, and we're going to get a couple of wraps around there. I've already explained this, but I'm just going to explain again in case you missed a bit, like you've maybe gone up to make a cup of tea or something. And it's just, you know, get a couple of winds around there. We're not bothered about getting it to pitch yet. We can start getting the strings on. So I'm going to crack on, get all these strings on, I'll come back, I'll stretch them in and I'll come back, and then I'll show you properly how we're going to set this tremolo. You will find your own ways, but I have managed to get a piece of wood in there from an old paintbrush, of all things, an artist paintbrush, to jam it in, tighten the springs right up, and the tremolo is exactly horizontal, exactly where I need it, but I have more tension on the springs than I need, so it means I can tune the guitar in and nothing is going to alter where this bridge is. So I'm going to tune the guitar in and stretch the strings, and when I've done that I'm going to bring you back and show you again a little bit more of how to set up the tremolo properly. I've stretched the strings in, tune it to pitch and locked the locking nuts so the guitar should be in tune. For those of you who need to know, we're basically ignoring the 7th string. We are tuned to D, and the 7th string is tuned down to A. So we're playing a D standard from strings 1 to 6. D standard, the root of that on the lower string would then be A. So we are tuned accordingly, and as requested by the owner. We have everything locked down. We have the tremolo set perfectly horizontal. So what we're going to do now is to set the guitar properly is I'm going to remove the spare spring in the middle. That's just to give me more pull. And we are going to set the tremolo properly. Now, all being well, I forgot to get this spring out, and I have done. We're going to remove what I've used as a trem block there. And everything should now be sharp. Let's have a look. And everything is sharp. And that's great, because all we need to do now is to set everything perfectly in tune, is to loosen these 2 claw screws very little bit until one of the strings drops in tune. For this purpose I'll be using the 5th string out of the 7. So we're looking for a G on there. All I'm going to do is very, very slightly loosen the claw springs, and once that string is in tune, the rest should follow. Still slightly sharp. I wish the strap wasn't on this guitar. and that is looking slightly flat, so we just need to go a tiny bit tighter on that claw, on these claw screws again. I'll give it like not even an eighth of a turn, but I think we're pretty much there. Let's try again. A little bit sharp. And that's it, we are in tune. A little bit more fiddling. Ah ha ha, there you go. A little bit sharp on me, I thought so. Tiny bit sharp on a couple of strings. And we are there. That is it. So we now have the tremolo set up. A couple more things I need to do. I need to check the action, make sure that's right, check the intonation. I've checked it anyway, it's pretty much spot on. And I'm going to finalise a couple of things. Once that's done, I'll bring you back in and we'll finalise this video. Here at Fret Friend, in this fading light, we are all done. So Jackson 7-string, I don't know the model. All I know is it has a Floyd Rose, an original Floyd Rose on there, Seymour Duncan pickups. It's a 7-string reverse headstock Jackson. Very, very nice model. Sparkle black finish, binding on the neck. Maple fingerboard, I would imagine it's going to be a maple neck. Body could be older, could be anything, I don't know. I don't think it's mahogany. A beautiful thing. The only thing that I've got, tell me any kind of model number, is an MXJ, then a 7-figure serial number on the back there. Lovely guitar. 7-string guitars are not my thing, but that doesn't mean it's a bad guitar. I'm sure it's a fantastic guitar. I know Paul will love it. Good thing about this is we thought we had a problem with the truss rod last year when he bought it for the first time. It doesn't have a problem with the truss rod at all. It's absolutely fantastic. So why did it come in? Well, it was buzzing everywhere. It became apparent that it needed a fret level, which it has had. So it's had a complete fret level and an intensive setup with a Floyd Rose setup. Floyd Rose is set up perfectly horizontal, sunken into the body just a little. Beautiful thing, and it looks fantastic. So that is it all done. I'm sure Paul's going to be very pleased. Very nice guitar, and it's ready to go. So one thing I need to do is remind you of my website, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. It's also fretfriend.co.uk. I am Victor, I am your Fret Friend. And as always, until the next time, God bless you, be good to each other. I'll see you in the next one.